Everyone. So, Double Freedom is one of those films that barely raises its voice yet quietly says a great deal. Directed by Argentinian filmmaker Lisandro Alonso, the movie revisits the world of his 2001 debut, Freedom, returning to the life of Michel, a woodsman who has spent decades living in near total isolation in the Pampas. At first glance, almost nothing seemed to have changed. Michel still spends his days chopping wood, smoking cigarettes, cooking meat over open fire and moving through life with an almost meditative stillness. The film intentionally repeats moments from the original movie, creating a strange sense of deja vu. But that repetition is the point. Alonso wants viewers to notice the tiny differences hidden inside routine, the way time quietly reshapes a person, even when life appears frozen. The storytelling here is extremely minimalistic. There are long stretches without dialogue, no dramatic music, no cues, almost no traditional plot structure. Instead, the camera simply observes. Birds chirp in the background, branches crack underfoot, and everyday action beams becomes the rhythm of the film itself. For some viewers, that slow pace may feel challenging, but for the others, it becomes hypnotic. What makes Double Freedom more than just an observational art film, though, is the political layer running beneath its silence. Midway through the movie, Missile visits a nearly abandoned care facility for people with disabilities where he reconnects with his sister Catalina. The institution is shutting down due to government austerity measures, forcing him to bring her back to his tiny shack in the woods. And that changes everything. Suddenly, the life that once looked peaceful begins to reveal its fragility. Michelle could survive alone, but caring for another person exposes how thin the line is between freedom and instability. Alonso subtly connects this personal shift to Argentina's current personal political climate, where budget cuts and disappearing public support system are leaving vulnerable people with nowhere to go. The film never directly lectures the audience about politics, but the message is impossible to miss. The empty facilities, the lack of resources, and the burden placed on ordinary people all reflect a society slowly withdrawing support from those who need it most. At the same time, Double Freedom still find moments of warmth and humor. Alonso includes awkward silences, random animal encounters, and small interactions that bring unexpected humanity into film's otherwise bleak atmosphere. There's even a sense that Missile himself quietly understands the absurdity of his situation. Visually, the movie embraces a rough, stripped down aesthetic that mirrors Alonso's early work. The image feels raw and handmade, almost like memories captured on film rather than polished cinema. That simplicity becomes part of the experience. By the end, Double Freedom feels less like a traditional sequel and more like reflection on aging, survival, and what freedom actually means when society begins falling apart around you. It's a slow, meditative film that asks audience to pay attention to silence, routine, and the invisible pressure shaping everyday life. And in its final moment, after all the stillness and restraint, the film leaves viewers with one quiet but powerful idea. Sometimes survival itself becomes a form of resistance. Thank you for watching. Bye.